this morning we are at Hollywood Studios. We've come back because the kids didn't get to go on the rock and roller coaster last time, and it is their favourite ride in the park. I'll tell you a little bit about the ride. I mean, basically it is a roller coaster. I'd say in the dark, but it does have lights. It's got like neon lights and things to look at, and it plays rock music as you're going around. It starts off by going straight up really fast and shoots you into a loop-de-loop, so it does go upside down, but it's a really, really fun ride. Absolutely love it. My son seems to manage the noise because he copes with the, because he likes being thrown around, so that tends to help him with the noise of the roller coaster. The problem with rock and roller coaster is the queue does put you in holding rooms, like big rooms with things to watch while you're waiting to go on. So even if you go down the express pass queue, you still end up waiting a fair while, and you also end up in crowded rooms. We find standing at the front tends to help a little, near the door, so that you sort of first out the room when you move on to the next one. This ride will probably leave my son a little bit on edge, but he really does like going on it, so that's why he's gone on it today. We are in the park only for a few hours, maybe 2 hours, because we're going over to Epcot Food and Wine Festival afterwards for lunch. Really excited about that. We've never been before, so that's going to be really good. The reason we've come in, as I said, is to do this ride, and then we've got a couple of other rides we've not done. Star Tours, the Muppet Show, which we might go to, and we have a fast pass for Toy Story Mania again. We went to guest services on the way in and explained that our kids aren't doing too well with waiting in between rides, with the queue times being quite long, so they actually gave us the fast pass for the rock and roller coaster even though we didn't have one, and they've also arranged a disability pass for us for Star Tours. So we're going to go to that next, and then we can disability pass Slinky Dog when we go on Toy Story Mania. So hopefully we'll get some good rides in, and the kids won't have too much waiting. The plan is they won't be too stressed when we go to Epcot. You may have noticed from my videos that we tend to go into the parks for short amounts of times. We do that on purpose. We don't do long days in the parks, like we're not here all day. I tend to plan the fast pass as well, so that we do sort of 3, 4, 5 rides and then leave again. The reason I do that is because the kids just can't cope with all day in the park. It's too much, there's too much going on, and even though they're enjoying it, there's a lot of sensory input, so they become overwhelmed quite quickly, and they struggle with the demand of getting from ride to ride at certain times and rushing from one place to another, or waiting in between and not understanding that they have to wait for the ride. So it's easier for us to do a couple of hours in the park and then come back another day. So I tend to spread, we get 2-week tickets, and I spread the parks over the whole 2 weeks, and we do half days, evenings, mornings, depending when I can get the fast passes. So today it's the morning. We got to Hollywood Studios sort of opening time a little bit later, about 10 o'clock. The bad search wasn't too busy. There was a queue, but I managed to find a very short one, so I was through within 5 minutes. And the park, it is busy, but it's not too bad today. Okay, this is the Star Tours ride. The entrance is just there. And it's a simulator, so you go down the queue. There's 2 Star Tours themed, and then you are in like a room where you sit. You have to put a seatbelt on, and there's a screen at the front, and then it's like a simulator of flying through space and Star Wars basically. It's quite a good ride. If you get travel sick, it's not the best ride. The kids really like it because they like Star Wars. And going on in front of me now is the Jedi Training Academy. If your kid wants to be a Jedi... Whoa, it's loud. 1 minute. So you can register your children at the special place. You have to look on the map. And they can do Jedi training throughout the day. I think you have to register at the beginning of the day to get a place, and then you're not guaranteed a time because a lot of kids want to do it. Then basically you go back at the time that you're given, and they're all sort of stood on a circle and handed a robe, and then they're brought outside and they learn to fight with lightsabers, and they get to fight Darth Vader. The issues with it are, if you've got a kid that doesn't like being watched, then obviously all the parents will be watching, and the music is loud because it's sort of on the speakers, and also the show is quite loud. But if you've got a kid that doesn't mind being watched and really loves Star Wars, and that's their special interest, and they want to play with lightsabers and fight Darth Vader, then it's a really good show.
Master, what's happening? The leader has begun. Students, prepare to face your trial. Prepare to face your fear. And prepare to face Darth Vader.
Join me, or face the power of the dark side.
Good grade, students. Darth Vader may be strong, but it is all of us against one. The balance is in our favor. The balance may have shifted.
There is no balance, Jedi. The dark side will always be stronger.
I'll just show you these. They're not ours, but you can rent Disney strollers. These are, I think they're double ones, and they do single ones as well. The good thing about them is that they you can put kids that are quite big in them. So if you have a child that you don't think will be walking much, there's a single one over there. Then you'd be able to rent them a stroller, and they could sit in that and go around. And they're quite sturdy, so they will take older children. Well, I mean, obviously not 12-year-olds, but older children than little, as well as babies. So that's good. Okay, this is Muppet Vision. This is the holding room you go in before you go into the show. And if you want to, just ask, and you can go into this area. There's like benches, and you can wait here. You'll then go through that door over there, which is the back 2 rows that have more space and they're not in the middle of the crowd. It's not so bad sat here because you're away from all the people, and there's TVs to watch while you're waiting. This is the theatre. If you go into that disability waiting area, you actually don't have to, because you can go anywhere you like, but this is the back row. It's the wheelchair row, but it's out of the crowd and there's a big space behind. This show is a 3D show, so you get 3D glasses to wear, and it's the Muppets. It's kind of fun.
High-tech facility.
Advance.
There was a huge crowd because we just bumped into the March of the First Order, so there's a lot of people following it up the main street, and we're trying to get it out of the park, so we're going this way. If you go into the shops, they're all kind of joined together, so you can just walk straight through, and it's far less crowded. It's a good way to get out if you're ever in that situation.